That should have been our intro.
Why have you opened the last like 3 streams I've seen you do with that face?
I don't know. It's a thing now.
Do you have an accessory pack that you have other faces you could swap that one out for? Because that one might have a factory defect. So go back to your packaging and see if you're returnable.
The face in the drawing. I want to see you do that one. This face.
Fab Studios presents Figure Action. That one's me.
That one. That one's me face.
There you go.
See how I shoehorned in that intro?
It seemed like it was an elegant segue to me, but whatever.
Well, speaking of elegant segues, it's Thursday night. It's 9 o'clock Eastern, and if you're watching us here on YouTube, that means you're watching Figure Action live. And as always, make sure you pop into that chat. It's on our right, but if you're watching on mobile, you got a live chat button. If you're watching on YouTube, chat should be popping up all over the place. But get in there. We love our fans. We love interacting with y'all throughout the course of the show. And also, whether you're watching live or not, make sure you kielbasa slam that like button because it really helps us out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I think that'll
cover it.
That'll cover it. Oh, and
buy our
shirt.
Link in the description.
Yep, link is in the description for our Teespring store, the Fap Shop. We've got some of the lowest podcast-related merch in the game. Rep Figure Action, look good doing it, and help support our channel. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. So let's figure out how everybody's doing. And one more thing. Next week, we will not be going live on Thursday. It's Thanksgiving. Everybody's going to be spending time with their families. I know it's a weird Thanksgiving. So I hope everybody out there has some arrangements and is staying safe. But I hope everybody does have a good Thanksgiving, gets good Turkey Day in, enjoys the holiday.
If you can't be with them.
Sportimus says the Fap Shop is fabulous. And we will be doing a giveaway for a hoodie in the very near future. I'll put up a separate video detailing how you can enter that. It'll probably be self-contained in that video. That hoodie will be from the Fap Shop. Choice design of your choice. I'll do the ordering for the lucky winner. It will be open to CONUS, continental U.S. only. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll get into it. Matt, I understand you have a pretty good haul this week, but more importantly, how the hell are you doing?
I'm good. I had today off. I have Friday off. I have the weekend off, so 4 days is good for me. And then next week I get to repeat. I only have 3 work days next week, so that makes me happy. Besides that, like today was busy. Today was my day off, like I said, but I spent most of the day doing secret decorating for the holidays, where my wife and kid were at work and school. So I decided to yank all the Christmas crap out and just do it. Just balls to the walls, decorate everything. I took every last scrap of decorations that we have and put them up. So because this year sucks. They were. So I had this grand scheme to have like guitar Christmas music playing in the background and all the lights on when she came home. And she texted me and said she was running late. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go do a workout. So I came down here to get on the treadmill for a while. And I was in 20 minutes in, when you're on the treadmill running and you're watching DuckTales and life is good. And then all of a sudden I heard the floor creak above me and I thought, son of a bitch. And I turned on the camera and I saw that she was home. So I had to go running upstairs. I was like, all sweaty. I'm like, surprise. So that the reveal didn't go as planned, but everything else was great.
Would you say life is like a hurricane?
Yes, I would say that. That's very. Someone should put that to music.
Dun, 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 dun.
So that's how my day's gone. The week has been, so. Hauls. I really didn't have that big of a haul this week. I did find this dude, Earthrise, Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron Run Amok.
Generation.
This guy I know is loosely based on the Sunstreaker mold. If you could only buy one, this guy by far. And it's kind of it's kind of unfortunate because Sunstreaker is definitely a favorite character of mine, but this guy got the treatment. This is the good mold, and I'm guessing that subsequently the runabout's going to be just as good because it's the same fucking thing. But still, I was able to get the runabout on pre-order through Target through a window of like 5 minutes when it went back up. So happy about that. And then today, GameStop had a sale. As they do, their Black Friday sale. Any Figma figure I'm going to look at that's under $50 and consider, because Figma's pretty good. And to get any Figma figure under $50 is pretty damn good. I have never in my life played a Persona game, including Persona 5. So I only know this character's name is Futaba. I know that because I just read the box. But
She's supposed to only be in the enemy or something.
she's in the game. She has 2 costumes too. There's another costume figure of her that's out in her black outfit. But I know nothing about this character besides the 5-minute YouTube video that I watched, which got me up to speed more or less. This thing is awesome. It's not the original like $70 price tag awesome, but the 40-some bucks I paid for, yeah, she's pretty awesome. She has interchangeable arms to give you that hand in the pocket look, which is kind of what sold me on her, because this jacket's done really well for a hard plastic piece.
See, I'd put Creepy Woody's head on it and make it look like he's playing pocket pool.
I mean, you can Creepy Woody anything. You could Creepy. If I had Creepy Woody, I would have put it on the Velociraptor's body by now.
Damn. Now I need to get that.
Yeah. They're in Targets now. The tan one, I think, is in Target now.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, don't know the character, but very nice looking, Figma quality. So it's all smooth and buttery in the joints, and she's really good. She comes with enough accessories. She's a hacker, I'm guessing, from the videos I saw. So I kind of wish I had a laptop for her. But something to work on. We'll get there.
Yeah, take a trip to Michael's and look at the little dollhouse stuff they have.
That's where I got the birds that I use for Android. For the Android, what the fuck Android is that? 15. And I need to get another set of birds for Beachcomber. So that's a good place to get the birds.
I gotta do that for my Beachcomber.
Yep, they're like $3, and it's a good pay. It's just two of them, and they get a little of your blue tack, and it sticks right to them.
Sportimus will get a little rowdy in the chat there.
She is. I think she's a little young for that. So I'm not trying to get too sexualized with her. She's just cute.
Where's Figma Chris Hansen?
And you want to put the Woody head on her, and too, like, for a character that wears glasses, like, the glasses are done really well, and it's attached to the hairpiece. So if I take her front piece off here.
Woodman 69, you said that there was a snake in your boot. You mind having a seat?
So I'm gonna finish gushing about a character I have no fucking clue about, but she's cool.
I think you got even luckier because she was like over 100 at GameStop at one point.
Oof.
Yeah, well, and I'm looking too. The box that she came on says it's clearance for $64. I didn't pay that. I paid like $42 plus shipping. So I'm super happy with her for that. And she does come with this weird like costume headpiece. And from what I read, it was that she's otaku, so she doesn't like being out in public or leaving her house. So this is what she uses to sneak around or to duck like inconspicuously, so she's not recognized. If any of that's wrong, I'm sorry. Again, I have no idea, but that's what I got. That's where I'm at this week.
Right. No effort says he hasn't gotten any new figments yet he does want the new Devil Man. We took a look at that a while back. I'm surprised that hasn't or has it come out?
Don't know. Again, sometimes I pull up Amazon and just type in Figma and see what comes up for cheap and see, because Figma's like, they're pretty good quality. The articulation's maybe not quite SHF level for most of them, but paint's usually good, accessories usually good. So.
And speaking of that, the price went down on Figma Samus today.
Ooh.
Which Samus is that?
I think it's Super Metroid.
I've been looking for something to get my cousin for Christmas, and he's getting that Prime 1 Ridley statue. I think that'd be a nice little companion piece to go with it. So I might have to
Yeah, it
Looking at
dropped
that.
back down to 85. It was over 100, like well over 100, almost.
This one or the one with the smaller suit?
The one with the spikes on the shoulder.
Okay. I got
Yeah,
you.
so the
her.
Prime.
I guess.
Yeah, that's the better one of the two, to be honest.
I love this thing.
That's Prime.
Even that's Prime.
That's Prime, yeah.
That's just Prime.
Hi.
How the hell are you doing?
I'm alright. People that watch my channel saw this in the thumbnail. Spider-Man being attacked by a red monster dude. I picked up this thing.
Yay.
They're just I knew with PlayStation 5 coming out, nobody's gonna be worried about this. So
you know, it's funny too. I gotta ask, because
Mhm.
I know you've run into them in stores. It's interesting how Xbox and PlayStation come out and all the Switches return to the wild.
Right. I'm like, I think I said that in one of my clips where I was like, well, while they're slacking getting those systems out, Nintendo is everywhere.
Yeah.
They're fully stocked. So when people go out for Black Friday shopping, somebody's getting a Switch. A lot of people's getting a Switch.
Switch Lights are probably going to be the big thing. People
And you
can't
know
get
what?
it.
They wouldn't be bad off for it. Switch
No, they wouldn't.
fine system.
They have every color too, not just the coral pink one. But I also got Sabine Wren again with better eyes than the one.
And I didn't realize her visor. She had the targeting thing on her helmet.
Yeah.
Shit.
Now you want it.
I do.
All-time toys. I had a bunch of them. Tell them you know me and Kevin. Or you're in a DMV Action Figure Society group. I picked up Tila to go with my Evil Lynn and He-Man. I always wanted this for some reason as a kid. Female figure, as you know, that fascinated me because action figures are usually always dudes. So I was like, wow, you can get a female one too? And I got PD, Destro.
Yeah, I can't wait for your review on that, because I know you're gonna have some fun with him.
Hopefully, with his sexy leopard skin.
Well, also pairing him up with the Snake Commander Supreme, they look perfect together.
Commander. See, now I have pressure to come up with some type of skit, which I probably won't.
He's got the burning money.
Groot.
With all other groups besides teenage groups. And let's see. Out of the clear blue sky.
Pipstro.
Sent to my job for Christmas early. Dewdog from Dewdog Review sent me Mezco Captain Marvel here.
Very nice.
I didn't even know she had this jacket till I opened up the back of the package.
Dewdog, if you need my address, just hit me up, man.
Now he's just got to hook you up with a Ross Megatron.
Oh yeah.
Or that was Rube that found you.
I helped with that. I encouraged him to find it.
Rube found the Ironhide, and I found the Megatron.
Oh wait, so you bought Megatron?
Oh yeah. Yep. I don't know if he was on here last week. He should have been.
I have a reason I haven't watched last week's show.
And I forgot I got this to you too. But Dog, I guess he was in a nice spirit. And last year, because he has a whole bunch of 1/12 scale figures, I figured he would want one of the. I bought a bunch of motorcycles out of Marshalls, and I sent him one. So do good things, and stuff come back to you eventually some type of way. And coincidentally, I had sent something to Plastic Addict that I bought 2 years ago and never sent to him. when I finally sent it to him, and then all of a sudden I get this. But she's all right. Her hair, if you think Marvel Legends hair is too hard and rigid to pose, this mess is stiff as crap. I'm scared it's gonna rip her jacket.
But she got alternate heads with mohawk, right?
Yeah, she got two of those, one regular hair and one powered up hair. So definitely she's gonna have one of those on all the time. Because this is probably the best toy. You're not gonna be able to see it, but this is the best action figure of this size likeness. It looks pretty much spot on like her. Way
If
more
anybody,
than Marvel Legends.
if anybody follows Marlon Wayans on Twitter, he was talking about how like the mainline Hasbro, like not the Marvel Legends, but the one for kids, look like his character from White Chicks.
Yeah, I forgot what that line is called. Like they gave them better articulation than normal, but
Yeah,
the face sculpts are sketch, especially hers. But I believe that's it. Besides these dog stickers,
man, I didn't realize he had stickers.
yeah, he has a whole bunch.
Do we
He
have
likes to
stickers?
do-
Not yet.
No.
So here's what we need. We have a logo, right? So we need
Yeah.
to come up. We need to get with repro labels and make faction symbols that people can
Fa-
put on their
fa-
third-party.
Did you say faction symbols?
faction symbols that they can put on their third-party transformers? So
We make a set for Nicey.
We
it
gotta
writes
trademark
itself.
stuff before you say it out loud.
Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing well. So I've had a pretty good week here. So last week I was absent, and I had good reason because I was playing PlayStation 5. So I got myself a PlayStation 5, and not only did I get a PlayStation 5, I got myself an Xbox Series X.
Keep
So
balling. Get ball.
yeah, yeah.
Must be nice.
It is nice. It is nice. Well, the funny thing is I got I was lucky enough to get 2 pre-orders for PlayStation. I wasn't able to get a pre-order for Xbox. My buddy Christian, he lives near DC. He got 2 Xbox pre-orders actually, and we set up a trade. So basically, I got the pre-order with GameStop. Then my cousin, it was a bundle deal with GameStop. Now, GameStop's coming out with the bundles for consoles. So if anybody's looking, here's info for you. All the stuff that's in the bundle, you can return to the store. So if you have to spend extra on like there's games that you don't want, just take your receipt back to the store and be like, I don't want this. And so you can effectively just get the console. Now, if they include like a year of Xbox One or, I'm sorry, not Xbox One, Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus, you can't return that because it's a digital code. But like the games, the controllers, anything else, like a headset that it comes with, you can return all that and just effectively get the console by itself. With the PlayStation, I was actually kind of happy because the game that I didn't want ended up getting delayed till February, so they refunded that from the bundle. And I just got Miles Morales with it, and it came with an extra controller, so I took the controller back, and I got myself Demon Souls. So pretty happy with how everything worked out. With the Xbox, I'm just waiting on Cyberpunk to come out, so I have something to play there. So right now, I like the PlayStation a whole hell of a lot more. The controller is awesome. I can't wait for those things to show up in kiosks so people can try out the controller, because that controller on its own is just some next gen stuff. I can sit here and talk all day about how the haptic feedback is awesome, but until you get one in your hands, you're not going to know. Also, the load times are amazing because, like in Miles Morales, it's like you hit start or continue, and like it's an open world game. It's beautiful, and it loads in 2 seconds. So it's like you hit continue, and boom, you're in the open world New York. And so I've been having a ton of fun playing that game, and I can't say enough good things about it. So I'm hoping more people get them, because I want more people to have the experience and enjoy it. And all I can say is fuck the scalpers, because I hate when people put up a barrier for those in the hobby. Also, like T, I got myself the Game & Watch, and I like this. I thought this was going to be hard to find, but they've been everywhere. So this is awesome. If you grew up in the 80s or early 90s, you probably saw these around. This is a really nice screen. It's a lot of fun. I think it's well worth it, especially if you're a Nintendo collector. As for toys, I got myself the rest of Earthrise Wave 3, so I finally have myself a Sunstreaker and a Runabout. And these guys are pretty good. Sunstreaker, I think, is probably the worst Earthrise figure, but Runabout's really good. I saw earlier Sportimus was talking about, they could take this mold and repurpose it for tracks, and I 100% agree. And definitely they could get away with making it a Pontiac Firebird, because Pontiac doesn't exist anymore, though I think GM technically still has them.
Yeah.
Sportimus says Xbox is backwards compatible, PS5 is backwards compatible with PS4 games. Yeah, the Xbox definitely has things beat. In terms, they have everything. They have PlayStation beat in terms of backwards compatibility. I mean, like the Xbox plays all the generations of Xbox games. I mean, it plays select original Xbox games. It plays a good chunk of the 360 library. It plays all Xbox One except for the Kinect games, so it's not fully backwards compatible. But it's fine. It's just with PlayStation 5, you get next gen experiences. With Xbox, all their games, their first party games got delayed. So like Scorn and the big one, Halo Infinite, got delayed. So there's really nothing to show the graphical capabilities of that system. It's ironic because it's supposedly more powerful than the PS5. So, and the PS5 has exclusive games that show off the power of the system, and so it's interesting that they've come out with a system that's sought after, and yet there's really nothing to show the capabilities of it. So, time will tell.
Hopefully that helps though with availability, especially if there's people like me that opted out because there's nothing off the bat that's really pulling me towards getting one of these. Maybe that'll help with availability in the long run, that people aren't jonesing for the hot new thing.
I think it might. I think you'll see after Christmas. I think interest in that will dip down a little bit, because you're still gonna have people that want to play, especially Demon Souls. Like the Soul series is hot, and you're gonna have people that are gonna want to play Miles Morales. So I think those two games will keep the PlayStation 5 demand up.
Well, but Miles Morales is available on PS4. So.
It is, but the game was built on PS5, so you're getting like the watered down version. It's not like, so I mean that's like what's interesting, even like with a game like Cyberpunk, those games were built on current gen specs, and then they're going to get things like ray tracing and higher fidelity models and all on and better lighting on next gen. But Miles Morales was actually built on PS5, and then they scaled things back for the PS4 version. So technically, while the game's available on PS4, Insomniac is saying that it was built with PS5 in mind.
They have to say that.
They have to say that, yeah. But it's apparent, and you really do see it. There's a lot more people in the streets, a lot more going on. Like, I love the first Spider-Man game, but when you're playing the original Spider-Man, you notice like there's not a lot of stuff going. And like, if you've ever been to New York's typically in gridlock, so I never understood like the high-speed chases that went on in those games, because like, you stole a car in New York, especially downtown, you're not going anywhere, But like in Miles Morales, it's like there's a lot of cars, there's a lot of people, and it's impressive. And meanwhile, on the Xbox side, I think they've said that first party titles are going to be backward. They're going to be built for all the Xbox One and the Series X for the first couple of years. Like Halo Infinite is going to be on Xbox One, and it's cool. They're not throwing away their existing user base, but I think there's a downside to that, because you need certain things to sell people. Like you need that wow factor, and I think that Sony's going to come out of the gate with it. I think in the long run, the Series X will probably be the more graphically capable system, but I think that the PlayStation 5 is going to be able to build up a bigger base. Time's going to tell. I think the hard drive tech in the PS5 is really good. They're like the load times are basically non-existent. And I think the way the stores are handling it took me a day and a half to install Black Ops. And then everything I've been installing on PS5 has been like I downloaded and installed God of War in 6 minutes. And that was crazy to me. Because like they have like the PlayStation Plus. So basically now if you have a PlayStation 5 and you get PlayStation Plus, you get like 20 games that are enhanced for PS5 included in your membership. And like so I was like, I'll download the digital version of God of War and see how it looks running at 60 frames a second. And it was like 8 minutes. It downloaded, it installed in 6, and then I booted in, and there you go. It was crazy. So for me, it was like the digital experience on PS5 was actually better than it was on Xbox. I don't know what was going on with Xbox, whether like people were hounding the servers for Call of Duty. I checked my network stats, and over Wi-Fi, I had close to 300 megabytes per second down. So it wasn't my network, but I digress. Time will tell with them both. I'm enjoying the PlayStation 5 more. Like I said, the controller is amazing. I wish people could get their hands on it. I know in COVID world, like again, you can't have kiosks in stores, but like to give you a little idea, like playing Astra's Playroom has been amazing. There's a part of the game where like an umbrella pops out of the back of Astra, and you can actually feel on the controller where rain is hitting the umbrella. There's a part where you walk through mud, and you can actually feel like the suction on his feet through the mud. Be it like there's a part where you're on ice, his feet transform into ice skates, and you can actually feel the ice carving under the skate. It's crazy. And for me to say like you can feel this stuff is an understatement, because I don't think people can mentally grasp it until they get the controller in their hand. But Deluxe says, when are you going to stop talking about video game consoles? I guess now. Let me get through the rest of my haul, because I could probably keep going on. I got the Autobot clones through Amazon. I pre-ordered them. I forgot about them. They showed up, and then I got a pretty good amount of Star Wars stuff. I managed to find the Holiday Snowtrooper at Walmart. The only one I need now is the actually, I think I've got them all lined up. I've got the Best Buy one coming tomorrow. Matt was nice enough to pick me up the GameStop one, and the Amazon one will be here whenever Amazon chooses to ship it. They're saying like the middle of December. That's fine by me. We'll see. They're saying the middle of December. It'll probably be like next week. GameStop had their sale on Black Series figures. I managed to get myself the Gaming Greats Jango Fett, and he's pretty awesome, and the Darth Nihilus as well. And I also today picked up the the Marvel Legends Carnage from the new wave, and as T was saying, he is amazing. Really enjoy this figure. I was in the store. I was like, should I get him? Because I don't have a Carnage. I still need to get a Venom. I have a good collection of Spider-Man figures, and T was just like, get him. So I did, and I'm glad I followed the advice. Nightwing, check GameStop's website, because I think they're still running the deal. Okay, well, let's. I think I've rambled long enough. I think I've put T to sleep.
He's chugging the Red Bull.
He's chugging the Red Bull. Let's talk about some cool stuff. Transformers Cross Series. I guess we'll get into this stuff first, because I think Hasbro has been killing it.
Oh, real quick, Nightwing, sorry to interrupt, but yes, the sale is still going on, and Django is in stock, ready to ship. So go for it.
think Hasbro's been killing it this year with the Cross series. I mean, or crossover series. I think it's interesting they're reusing like Psylocke's face effect piece right here. Did anybody else notice that?
Yeah, in the picture though, they're not using it. It makes sense to have it on the robot face, but that's not how they're using it in the photography. So
yeah, we'll get into that because it's in the photography. I think. I wasn't expecting this at all. I really wasn't. I'm glad that they're doing it. This picture is terrible.
Yeah, that's your first impression, man. I saw that and I was like, pass. But
transform correctly.
But the other pictures,
black background pictures.
Yeah, we'll get to those.
There we go.
So this guy's available right now. He's not a Target exclusive, but he's on pre-order with Target and I believe Hasbro Pulse. He's not that much more expensive than your standard leader class. I think he's coming in at $65 on Target.
It should be a retool, a massive retool of Studio Series Jetfire.
Yeah, and you can definitely see from the these pieces up here.
Right.
I think the arms are very similar as well.
The shoulder joints definitely are. That's why it looked crazy in the other picture.
It's a really nice deco and color scheme too. I really like how this pops. My only concern now, looking at it, is I hope they do that yellow correctly.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it's not haphazardly applied. I hope it's applied thick enough so it comes through, because it's on a really dark blue, which is going to be hard to pull off. But Hasbro knows how to paint when they want to, so we'll see.
Better for $65.
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
For real.
I mean, $65. Like, I can do without that mini Sabretooth and Wolverine. Like, they don't scale with it. They're static figures. What the hell are you supposed to do with them?
I guess it's like in robot mode. I guess there's you get the perception of scale. I would have preferred Wolverine and Cyclops, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think having Sabretooth is a little bit out of place. I also don't like the fact that neither of them really seem to be painted well. I'm glad that the paint went into the figure, but it's like there's no flesh tones on Sabretooth or Wolverine. It's just like he's got a yellow face, yellow biceps, and then Sabretooth is just orange and brown.
Yeah, that was a waste of time. Next year they're going to come out with a new one that has battle damage, and they're going to be painted better.
Probably. Also, too, as far as the accessories go, like, it's cool that it comes with the Psylocke's, psychic sword. Mm-hmm. But I really would have preferred 2 claws.
I'm right there with you. So you could have like that robotic Wolverine Cyclops hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
I want that, and I was hoping that the blade can affix to his face some type of way, like an eye blast,
like a laser beam, eye beam.
Like if they just put like a siege port like right here, or even like 2. I don't know if they put like the siege ports on like the side of the visor. I don't know. They could have figured something out.
I just swap. Let's not make it complicated. They could have an extra little piece of plastic with a swappable visor part. Just take that piece off, swap a new one on, and that's got the port in it. I mean, like you said, $65. They probably could have done that.
Bought the DeLorean time machine transformer. You would have known about this ahead of time. Serum Games Goes says, I like the retro box design. I do too. That's a throwback to like the old Toy Biz days.
Sportibus, that's a time joke there, isn't it? As you just told a time joke. See, I got it. It just took me some time.
Aquatechy says it's the Optic Blast.
I was going to say, actually.
It's called the I-beam, okay? Fight me.
So, as I mentioned, it seems like Hasbro is going all in on these crossovers, and the cool thing is, I don't think that I think when these things first came out, everybody was worried about availability. Obviously they had made the crossover Optimus Prime a SDCC exclusive. The Ectotron was a shared exclusive with GameStop, and I believe it was sold through Hasbro Pulse SDCC. Well, now Target has a new version of Ectotron up for pre-order right now, and this one I'm actually not getting. First of all, the barrier is the price. I don't think this is worth $60. But this is painted up to look like the Ghostbusters Afterlife version of the Ecto 1.
Yeah, that's old school convention prices.
Oh yeah.
I like the new head sculpt on it, but I never got the original Ectotron, but I don't feel compelled to get this version. So
Yeah.
even though like I said, I do like the head sculpt, and I get the wear and tear because it's an older Ecto 1 now, but it's just that price tag is kind of ludicrous though. Especially on the age of this mold. Like, this is not a new mold.
We know what store this is going to be in?
Target, probably Hasbro Pulse. I'd have to go and pull mine off the shelf, but I don't remember him having white wall tires.
If it's on Target, I hope it's Target. It'll go in clean. Then I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd get it. Is they put it out, they put it on clearance. I like the fact that Slimer's painted on this one.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Blue Ghost is something from Afterlife, since Afterlife was supposed to have been out already.
Yeah, that's just sticking all these toy lines over with these things that get pushed back.
Might as well just release it on what you call them, HBO Max.
Well, yeah, we're going to get into that later on in the episode. One thing I really wonder is I'm surprised that they, because again, like we just found out about the Expanse. When are we going to get this? So this is from 2018. They had the Star Wars Darth Vader. This one was a new mold released exclusively in Japan. I'm willing to bet that this is probably going to get a stateside release.
I intensely dislike that design.
I do too. I don't think it sold well. I know it actually went cheap on Amazon Japan. And I guess I kind of wanted to have a quick discussion, like what makes these new crossovers successful, where the Star Wars Transformers, which that was a line that went on for a while, it kind of failed.
The Star Wars Transformers, to me, I only ever had the Vader, the original release Vader. To me, they didn't seem to have a whole lot of love behind them. It just seemed like a corporate, make it work. There's not a whole lot to these things. They seemed almost, maybe it wasn't, but they almost seemed like they were directed towards a younger crowd with the ease of the transformation and the simplicity. I just don't think it just wasn't there. Like these new figures, like the DeLorean and X-Pants, they seem to have some love and care and seem to have been made by people that gave a shit about the franchises. Just outside looking in, that's what it seems to me. The Star Wars series didn't. I don't know, my 2 cents.
I could be wrong, but I think they weren't developed by Takara Tomy.
No, they were definitely internal Hasbro. Another thing too, I'm surprised we haven't got yet is the Street Fighter ones.
They creep me out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like those.
I think it's just like like seeing like the flesh tones on a robot.
Right.
Had they done them in like a silver, it's like the.
Oh, what's the other one that's coming out? The new one that I really don't like. I don't know if it was real. I think it was an Optimus Prime painted up to look like something.
Optimus Prime painted to look like something.
Who was it?
You have to reach into your brain pan on that one because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think somebody painted it. They made Optimus Prime look like He-Man.
Oh yeah, and Megatron into Skeletor.
And that He-Man one creeped me out. Like Optimus is not supposed to be flesh tone.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I think I said if it was orange, it wouldn't have been so bad. All right, next up, we got a lot about Studio Series 86. Last week they had a Fan First Friday. There was a lot of stuff that came out of that. But one of the things that did come out was 2 new Studio Series releases. One we kind of knew was inevitable, and the other kind of came out of left field. So we've got the inevitable one, which is the Cybertron version of Bumblebee, which the only thing that's weird about this is I got to go back and rewatch Bumblebee. I don't recall him having the battle mask on Cybertron.
I think when he first transformed, while he was kicking Seeker head into another person, I think he had it on, and then he took it off and talked to Optimus. But if he didn't, you could definitely pop that off and put it on the Jeep one, who should have had the battle mask.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just to swap the two. I mean, he looks good. I'm not a big fan of this mold, but I'll probably get him. And then the big surprise is we're actually getting a legitimate Dino who never got a proper stateside release. And he did get a release in Japan, but he was a remold of, I believe, Dead End from Revenge of the Fallen.
I don't even remember that character.
He was pretty prominent in Revenge of the Fallen. Or, I'm sorry, not Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he was originally called Mirage.
In the movie, they call him Dino.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely in for him. He looks awesome. And then, of course, this Fan First Friday was also where they revealed the Ectotron remold.
Pass, maybe.
Maybe is on the Dino.
Yeah, because he looked really good in that robot mode.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm pretty sure he's going to be on the smaller side, and that's the thing is like Studio Series figures that are on the smaller side, they tend to be less successful. You know. All right, next up. So speaking of the Bumblebee movie, there's been some talks for a while within DreamWorks as far as what was going to be next with Transformers. I know a lot of people were excited about the potential of a Beast Wars movie, and we finally have the answer. This comes from TFW. Stephen Caple Jr. to direct the next installment of the Transformers movie franchise. Paramount and Hasbro have tapped Stephen Caple Jr. to direct the next Transformers live-action movie. Caple's best known for directing Creed 2, and this is going to be so it says the article denotes that the Bumblebee universe movie triumphed over the Beast Wars script to be the next movie line. I am okay with this. I think as much as I love Beast Wars, I don't think we need a Beast Wars movie yet, because I'm kind of afraid what they do with it, and I kind of think that you need something kind of like an established. Look, the Bay movies are what they are, but I think you kind of need like to build up what the Bumblebee movie's doing and have that new G1.
Right. You've taken the Bumblebee movie and you've sort of won some of us back with that. So keep that shit rolling, man. Like take that same spirit of that movie and roll into a sequel where the Beast Wars movie, let that shit cook. And make that a grand slam, because you kind of need it to be in order to get buy-in from people.
Yeah.
Especially us old folks, like the newer generation that grew up on Beast Wars, they're probably in for it regardless. But you want to get us G1ers in, make it a solid film, and if that means extra time for that, all for it. Because a late movie is late once, a bad movie's bad forever.
Yeah, I've never heard of him, but he's young, so I'm hoping that he's actually a fan. like Travis Knight was.
Is Creed 2 any good? I've seen
Yes.
the first one and really liked it, but I haven't seen the
Creed
sequel yet.
2 is a sequel to Rocky 4, which is I love Rocky 4. I love it.
I know all the Rockies front and back. So
Yeah, there are a lot of people that don't like Rocky 4. They like there are people that are like I like Rocky 1 through 3. The only Rocky I don't like is Rocky 5.
Even that I like. I wouldn't watch it like just to sit down. If I was watching them in order, yes, but I wouldn't just sit and watch it.
Is that the one with the robot?
No, Rocky 4 is the one with the robot.
Yeah.
I love that one. Happy birthday, Paulie. Yeah. And so Creed 2 is like such a love letter to Rocky 4. So I mean, obviously, like the guy knows his 80s movies. He doesn't have the biggest list of directing, but I'm really hoping that again, you look at Creed 2, and Creed 2 was very respectful of the source material, what it wanted to do, and so I'm hoping that he looks at the first Bumblebee movie and not at the. It looks at the first Bumblebee movie and G1 and kind of says, like, look, the Bayverse is kind of its own thing. Let that be, and taps more into like the nostalgia of G1. So I mean, we'll see. I'm still, I'm very, very hopefully optimistic about this.
Optimistic.
I'm hoping we get that buddy movie that they had talked about before. Like they had said that Bumblebee 2 is supposed to be kind of like a buddy film between Bumblebee and Optimus. So
okay,
I'm hoping that happens.
And I think too, like just if you want to put a positive spin on things as well, like with the pandemic that caused all of Hollywood more or less to stop. And I think there's a lot of franchises that desperately needed that. And I'm one of the biggest Star Wars fans that I know. And I am full agreement that they needed to chill the fuck out and just relax for a few years.
Yeah, they do.
So hopefully they take this time and reset a bunch of stuff and sort of think through their next few steps. And then Marvel's doing that with, well, it's all Disney, but I hope these studios are doing this with these movie releases.
What did you say, T?
So they don't have no choice right now.
Right. But the money machine keeps rolling on. So
I don't know. It's like it's weird. We're gonna save a lot of that discussion for the end of the episode because I do want to talk about what's going on with Wonder Woman. And I know you put that in the notes. I can't say I want to talk about it when you were the one that put it in the notes. But I have stuff I want to say. Where are we? Let's get through our third-party news. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about here. I guess first up, a figure that I think everybody. I shouldn't say everybody because I think T and I were really doing that epilepsy thing. Let's try it one more time. T and I, we both bought Minerva from Fans Hobby, and I think everybody that bought Minerva this was the figure I think everybody wanted. This comes from Fans Hobby, as I mentioned. It's their Nightwalker figure, which is their homage to a G1 Nightbeat. And this is a colored test shot, but
Nightwalker.
we're getting a better idea how this figure is going to look proportionally. And I think being a bit chunkier than Minerva, I think it's working out in his best interest right here. I mean, obviously, they haven't fixed those hands.
I'm going to have to look at the original images because I remember the legs being more blocky, but those are straight up Minerva legs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look back, too. You're right.
The arms and the chest is definitely adjusted and the head, but everything else kind of looks the same, and that's kind of disappointing me a little bit.
It's interesting here that they're doing optional fenders. Maybe that's it. I don't know why they wouldn't just go with the flame effects.
I guess they're scared people wouldn't want flame effects, even though that's what makes them recognizable.
Yeah. This is definitely one where I think like people would want an homage to the original toy versus the anime character. I also don't remember. he definitely didn't have a siren. Yeah, this is kind of weird.
He wasn't a police car?
No.
I thought he
Like
was.
someone in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I'm gonna.
Oh, come on, Google. I was trying to look it up, but Google, it just needs to know what I'm trying to search for.
Mondo X-Man.
Yeah, the toy. Oh, fuck me running. The toy had a yellow siren.
He does, yeah, and the flame effects, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we'll pull up the TF wiki here. Of course, you got to get through the one of the IDW stuff.
Or yellow light bar.
Yeah. Commercial appearances. I had this toy as a kid, so I'm definitely in for it. He was like, yeah, he was definitely one of the few figures where I didn't lose his pieces, just because he was pretty easy to keep together.
That hot shot, my son sure lost the pieces.
You know what I didn't cover is that the voice actor of Hot Shot passed away.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was on TFW. I didn't want to put it in the
How old was he?
show. He wasn't that old. I think he was 49, if I remember correctly. Didn't read the cause either. But yeah, I mean, I'm in for this. T, I know you were kind of torn on the Minerva mold. What are you thinking on this one?
I wanted this, but after handling Minerva, my interest levels in the toilet.
It's probably gonna be like one of those things I put in a pre-order with Nate, and then I bring to a meetup.
Because I hate the way her hands are. And if he has the exact same hands, which can barely hold the guns.
Yeah, those are the exact same hands.
More of the same.
Wheel Bleed in the initial pictures. I don't know. I haven't watched any reviews on Wheel Bleed to see. But do you have Wheel Bleed?
No, I skipped it. I did not like that sculpt from the pictures.
The first picture I saw, the panel wasn't attached on the back of the leg, just like Minerva or what's her name? Athena.
Athena, yeah.
And then the transformation is, it looks good, but a lot of the functionality is a mess, and it drives me up the wall.
Still, though, if you liked Athena, you'll like this one. It looks like you more
especially
of the same, like you said.
Same price because she was kind of cheap. That's the only silver lining. Next.
All right. So next up, we've got a figure. I know we've got a lot of Optimus Primes, but this one's actually looking pretty good. This is from this is called Commander from Tri-Ace Toys. It's not the only Commander we're looking at tonight, funny enough. And this appears to be kind of an answer to the Unimetal Optimus. So here we have it compared to MP10. It's just a very heavily stylized, highly articulated. Yeah, actually, I think that is a PP10.
I was wondering, is that the 12-inch one or the other one?
Yeah. So he's probably going to be a pretty big boy. I think the proportions on this look pretty good. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about like how stylized it is.
He's too busy for my taste. It's too much.
I like that holographic thing right there, but I don't like him.
Yeah, I think what's kind of killing it for me too is the paint. They're kind of like going for this very chromy look on him, and I don't ever really think of Prime being like super chromy, you know?
Yeah, more of a dull metal finish, just kind of a dirty, kind of lived in.
Only the G1 toy.
You know, a lot of people like,
for.
yeah. You know, a lot of people like to say like a Prime looks like a Gundam. You know, when they see it, like I know a lot of people are saying like, yeah, Star Convoy, that's very Gundamish. This to me looks like something you would see in the Gundam universe, to be honest.
Or even I was even thinking last night I said Mega Man X, but looking at it too, I was thinking just now it's almost like kind of Neon Genesis Evangelion, like the later models have.
Yeah.
That looks very much like the armor sets that go with the Avas.
Yeah, this definitely looks like Bandai, like
very anime, very.
Yeah. Kev says, "Did y'all hear the rumors of Super 7 doing Silverhawks?" Ooh. I had all of those when I was a kid. And Lionel Kitty City, if anybody remembers that place, when they were going out of business, I got all of the Silverhawks and all of the what was the second version of He-Man? Like, was it The Adventures of He-Man?
Something like that.
Yeah, I got all those on closeout. All right. Next up, as I mentioned, the Tri-Ace wasn't the only commander we were talking about, because we've got a legend scale coming from Dr. Wu. Dr. Wu's kind of been on a roll with these legend scales figures. And for scale here, we've got Earthrise Air Rave.
Dr. Wu has been asleep for a long time and then suddenly woke up and got straight to work.
Yeah.
Because he's got a bunch of releases out on pre-order now.
Not to mention he hadn't been doing like the legend scale. I mean, these actually look smaller than your typical legend scale, to be honest.
They're Micromaster scale.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And we were speculating they're probably meant to scale with the Arc that's coming out.
Yeah, and I think if that's the case, they're striking gold with these.
And they're priced just right too, because that Optimus is $33.
Wow.
And he's selling 2 packs of the smaller bots at the same price. So you either get your Prime and Trailer, or you get 2 other smaller robots.
Now I gotta wonder. It seems like with Earthrise, it seems like Hasbro's kind of like gotten wise to the demand for the Legends market, and they're willing to redo characters in the Legends scale. And I think that a lot of them are probably meant to scale with that arc. And your Titan class figures in general. I wonder if we're gonna start seeing like cease and desist coming that way.
I mean, we haven't. I don't know. I feel like that's all smoke and mirrors, because it's not. It hasn't happened yet for any of it, so I don't
think we are, because they're even tinier than what we're doing.
Well, yeah, and the price margin is definitely like kind of minuscule in comparison. It's not like they're really eating Hasbro's lunch there. Versus
somebody brought up something that I didn't even pay attention to, that Walmart doesn't sell any small Transformers at all. They're all at Target. Like, I didn't even pay attention to that.
When you mentioned that earlier today, I kind of like I had to think back. And the last time I remember Walmart even selling those was the Siege like Rat Bat, and was it Rumble that came with them?
I think the last small Transformers I saw was the G1 reissues.
I mean, given the evidence I've seen at the Walmarts I've visited the past 6 or 7 times, they don't sell Black Series, Marvel Legends, Transformers, G.I. Joes. They stopped selling all that shit. So I don't know how you can tell. How can you tell they're not selling tiny Transformers anymore when they don't sell the big ones either?
Well, it makes you wonder how successful the Battle Masters were. Again, it's like nice having something at that low of a price point that could be an impulse buy, but like you go into any Target and you're gonna find
pegworms, man.
Yeah, and it's like, why did it pegworm? Because it's like the first 2 waves, and then they came out with interesting stuff with the others, but it just seems like, I guess they're moving to core class because it's like they're actual recognizable Transformers, and I wish they would do that and ditch the Authentics, because the Authentics, sure they're big Transformers, but I think if you have a kid that like doesn't know whether they're interested in toys or not, because hey, today kids are kind of weird.
I do want to take a quick minute here and just point out that mental illness can affect anybody at any time, and that you need to make sure that you get help if you start saying wild, crazy things, like our buddy here, Kevin, that says he hates Legends figures, because if you need help, buddy, you need to reach out. That shit is crazy talk.
I'm going to take a line from one of my personal heroes, Daryl Davis. How can you hate me if you don't know me? And Kev, I think you need a Legends figure.
He might have them. How does he know? He could.
I think you need to open up a Legends figure.
He might have all of them. He might have been buying Iron Factory for years and not even known it.
2 weeks, he's like, man, I hate these motherfuckers, and he's like,
but he just grumbles as he's stacking them in the corner, like, why do I buy this shit? I hate it.
Chris Barnes asks, do we have any Meyer stores near us? No, we
sir.
don't. But Aldi apparently is selling Earthrise Wave 2. So anybody looking for Earthrise Wave 2, wondering where the hell did this go? Why didn't it show up at Walmart or Target? Check your Aldi store.
I think the Battle Masters are peg warming at Target because they didn't send them to Walmart. They sent all the stock to Target.
You might be
Some
right.
people don't like Target. They specifically like Walmart.
I also kind of think like the vacuum that was left behind by Toys R Us. It's like I feel like a lot of times when people would take their kid to Toys R Us, it's like, all right, we're going to Toys R Us, but you can only get something that's like $5, and those things would have been perfect fodder at Toys R Us.
But I mean, these things look really cool for the size they are. I don't think they're for me because I'm not committing to another size class. If I do end up getting the ARC, and I do plan on it, depending on what it looks like, let's just say they have to convince me not to get it at this point. I was going to use my Legend scale robots to go with it, which I have plenty of.
Right.
So I'm not going to go to another size class just for that.
You have plenty of New Age.
Right. But if you don't have a Legends collection and you're looking for that quick fix here for these are perfect, and they're a good price.
Sportimus says, I feel burnt out getting Magic Square Soundwave now that New Age Soundwave is out. I think that's the thing I think a lot of Legends collectors are starting to feel is the placeholder syndrome that a lot of Masterpiece collectors felt for so long.
Well, Sportimus, I own both. I own the Sound Blaster Magic Square and the Soundwave New Age. I can tell you, just in my own personal opinion, if you picked one or the other, they both have. You're not going to be wrong either way. I like them both. If I had to pick, I like the New Age better, but it's not. I would not be sad just having the Magic Square. They're both really good.
Well, speaking of placeholders, anybody that bought the Fans Toys Cup and wasn't too thrilled with it, the X-Transbots has a potential answer for you.
Isn't that crazy? What kind of world are we living in? That XTV might be the swap in for Fans Toys.
2020, baby.
Yeah.
This cup is looking pretty good. I mean, he comes with a Sharkticon tail accessory here. His chest just doesn't have all the panels. It looks like he actually has an ab crunch. The only thing that I think is a problem on this guy is the back. But, given the transformation of the Fans Toys one, if they had to make sacrifices somewhere, I think a lot of people can live with him having a little bit of a backpack.
Do we have a side view?
Yes, we do. Oh, not of the backpack. No.
That backpack to me looks cleaner than
Coot.
Than Fans. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because Coot kind of had a hunchback sort of deal going on.
It looked like a bunch of mangled pieces. This is all smooth.
I never got Coot, so I might be in for this guy. We'll see.
I have, and this doesn't look too much different, so I don't have an incentive to buy it.
I mean, for me, it's like I don't think that the Fans Toys stuff well, let me rephrase what I'm about to say. I think the fan story stuff tends to retain its value a bit better, even with their bad figures. This looks awesome, but at the end of the day, I think I'm okay with just having Coot on my shelf because he's just standing there with the movie figures.
Yeah.
But if reviews come in and say like, "Hey, this guy's really awesome," he's got all the, and that's the crazy part too, is like Cup doesn't need all the articulation in the world. He's an old guy, so it's like to have him in like a super crazy pose with the ab crunch engaged, it's like you're not going to get it though.
Right.
I kind of like to think of him like standing there, like doing that, with the slow down, you turbo revving young punk.
Now you could have him with the ab crunch, bending over, like propped up on his knees in a coughing fit or something. Some kind of old man fit. Now, if this guy does have an alternate face that has the cigar built in, I will buy it hands down. So that would be the selling point for me.
They will.
If they do, I'll buy it, and as long as it's close to or under $100.
The most dynamic thing that I can think of that he did was when he jumped on Blitzwing to grab his bird.
Yeah.
Looks good. I'll watch this guy with interest.
Yeah. And the other thing that we've got coming out too is it's not from X-Transbots, but it was a figure I predicted. I'm very happy about this. So Transarts Toys, they seem to be doing like heavy retools of Masterpiece figures or not Masterpiece figures, of Beast Wars figures in a Masterpiece scale. And while I copied the link, I lost my place. There's a bit of scrolling, so forgive me here.
Ravage.
This is Ravage, yeah. So Transarts Toys is doing their own Ravage. This is based off of the X2 Ravage that never came stateside. The X2 Ravage that came out was not show accurate. So the head that they have here is very much show accurate. Obviously, this cannot transform into a cassette, but they got you covered there. He actually stores a miniature cassette, so you can recreate that. The cassette's supposed to store inside of, it looks like, his back.
This Ravage looks thick. Thick in the thighs. Thick.
Well, that is accurate to the show. Same, and so like one of the things I read is that these are actually also supposed to be magnetic guns. So this isn't a pegging system of any sort. They're just going to like magnetically connect to his hips, which I think is pretty awesome. I love magnets in toys.
Yes, and the companies need to do that more often.
Sportimus, you should have gone with the THICC approach. So yeah, obviously he has a again, this is just the heavy retool of Cheetor. The cool thing about this company is that their figures don't cost too much. Again, they're heavily retooled KOs. I don't really foresee Takara Tomy giving us Transmetals anytime soon. I hope that they continue to work through Beast Wars Season 1 and the third parties leave Beast Wars Season 1 alone before they get into Season 2.
Jordan, let me ask you, do you own the MMC version of this guy?
Yes, I do. But,
and what do you think, comparatively speaking?
Well, they're completely different. Like, the MMC one I actually keep in the Jaguar mode because, well, that's how he was in the comics. So the MMC one doesn't look anything like the Beast Wars one did. Like, he doesn't have, like, the very thick Siberian tiger looking head. Mm-hmm. So comparatively, they're apples and oranges. Mm-hmm. But this one I would keep in the robot mode, and I think he's, if you're looking for a solution for your Beast Wars display, this is the one to get.
And feel compelled every time you walk past your display to yell Decepticons forever.
Basically, yes. When he transformed into that cassette, I rewound that part over and over and over. No, that was before the crying stage. All my hair stood up, and when I recorded it, or I got the DVD, I kept rewinding that part over and over and over again.
I was in disbelief when that happened. Like I couldn't believe that just happened because I was just like, wait a minute, Ravage. You know, when they did the Unicron thing in season 1, I was like, oh, yeah, this show isn't just like a new thing. This is this is part of G1. And then when they had him show up, and he turned into the cassette,
after showing Megatron talking.
Yeah. And Megatron gave his like Bill Cosby laugh, and he was like, but yeah, this is a must buy for me. I'm hoping the price is right. Like this company, I regret the last little meetup we had. I regret not bringing Skateboard Gorilla so you guys could see like how they're doing upscaled KOs, but they're doing them with a lot of love. So I'm very much looking forward to this and the Cheetor. I know we've looked at the Cheetor before. Let's get into. Oh wait, one little bit of news that we have for third party is Fans Toys Phoenix is getting a reissue. A lot of retailers have sold out already. I did hit up Nate's Toys and Collectibles. I actually have to see if he's getting any in. He sent me a voice message. I haven't listened to it yet.
I'm probably going to get a couple in. Not going to go crazy with this one. I'm not. If a couple people want to buy one, I'll have a couple.
So Nate's Toys and Collectibles will have a couple of them, per the man himself.
That was gutsy to listen to that just without checking. Because man, fuck these collectors, man. They're just always a pain in my ass.
Hey, I prefaced it with like, Nate, I want to give you a plug. Are you going to get them? So Nate's going to get a couple. I know TF Source and BBTS have already sold out of this. So if you haven't got Fans Toys Phoenix already,
Prime and Toy Dojo,
Chosen Prime,
all
yeah,
sold out.
So you know the demand,
but their group is secret.
Yes, the secret group that everyone knows about. Don't even get me started on that. But so the pre-orders are going. If you want one, hit up Nate. He's getting a couple. But it's good to know that Fans Toys is not just allowing the secondary market to dominate the sales of that figure. I guess we can go ahead and we'll get into our non-Transformers news. Starting off with a figure I'm very excited about. I think T's probably excited about this one as well. And that is, we get a good look at the unmasked Sub-Zero. I think this guy's due out relatively soon, first quarter 2021. So I expect him and Motara. Well, Motara should be out like before the end of the year. So we'll get some looks into here. They
looks like this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I saw Tim K talking about it, saying he looked a little bit too cartoony. I don't have a problem with like the Storm stuff and its looks. What do you guys think?
Real quick to go back. Sorry to interrupt, but just go back. The Ravage is $40.
What the Transart one?
Yes, the T-Formers has the price on there.
Holy fuck! At $40.
Yep, it's a wild product. It says early 2021, approximate price $40 USD.
Jesus Christ! No, at $40, you have no excuse for not getting that.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, T, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was going to Storm proportions and whatnot and what they look like. The cyborgs, I think they are perfect. Their proportions and their design, but the ninjas and whatnot, I think they're too beefy. Like they look like Shao Kahn cosplaying as Scorpion and Sub-Zero without his mask.
Like too much muscle, like too muscly, kind of.
Yeah.
Just
they are like really broad and really wide. But those special effects that this Sub-Zero comes with are awesome and gross.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into those. I mean, this kind of reminds me of Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. Remember that cartoon?
I do. That I remember that fondly, actually.
It's kind of hard. If they were to do a realistic approach, would they get into? Yeah, I guess if they what's the word I'm looking for? If they came too close to the actor's likeness, would they get in trouble?
I would suppose that you'd think there'd be some kind of rights,
Yeah.
acquired for that kind of thing.
Why don't they just pay him? Jesus.
Right. I mean, it's not most of the actors. It's not like you have it's not like Johnny Cage is face acted by Nicolas Cage. Like you don't have to pay these big names.
All right. Like I imagine like
Nope,
T
nope.
like rolling up to like Storm Collectibles headquarters, like poking people with a stick. Just pay him. He's washed up. He's probably fat now.
Most of them are probably stunt actors anyway that
Yeah.
don't get a lot of face time anyhow. So, whatever.
And the figures cost $80. That can't be the price of the face scan. Can't be put in there.
I think it would be kind of weird though that that they would shift art styles, because it's like I think this is their first Mortal Kombat figure that's unmasked, other than Baraka, but Baraka was technically based off of a heavily modified Halloween mask. I mean, Shao Kahn, you could take the mask off, but
Raiden.
Yeah, Raiden. But like Raiden's face was kind of obscured in shadow, so but still, yeah, you're right. I think this is kind of like the art style they've settled on. I don't hate it. I know where a lot of people they want it to be realistic, but I don't hate it.
Do you have the images up?
Yeah, Jesus Christ! I've been flipping through these the whole time.
That's why I went like this. Like, this is what he looks like. That's why I did that.
Here we go.
Yeah. There we go.
I guess
So,
he
yeah.
masked with previous Sub-Zero and Scorpion, so I guess they couldn't change it all of a sudden. But yeah, they look good.
Yeah. This is where I was saying, like, I was talking about Defenders of the Realm, and I'm like, yeah, that's very angular and exaggerated proportions. Let me see if I can find a picture of Defenders of the Realm.
Oh, I need to see if that Sub-Zero movie is on HBO Max.
So yeah, if we go over here, like there's the Defenders of the Realm cartoon.
Yeah, they probably were trying to make it look like that. That's exactly what it looks like to me. The body proportions and everything.
Yeah. Which I mean, hey, there's nostalgia there. We'll cut forward to some of the effects pieces. Like that pose does not look very good. He looks like he's like he looks like he's in a terrible rave. It's not going very well. But yeah, the effects pieces, as T was saying earlier, are awesome. Like we've got 2 ice beam effects, and they're relatively big pieces. This is I think this is
lot.
Yeah. This ice sarcophagus piece, or cocoon, whatever you want to call it. I think they call it the ice shower effect.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
then,
fact
of course,
that you get put the blood in there.
Yes. And then, of course, he comes with random body parts, so you can do the whole, hey, I just shattered a dude.
And that looks so nasty, but it's appropriate.
Yeah, Storm definitely does an awesome job with the gore effects. Like the last Sub-Zero with the face punch effect with both eyeballs popping out, like and this is awesome too. Like, I'm in for this.
I'm not against it, but I collect too much.
I'm still waiting on Storm's Darkstalkers.
What are you waiting on, Matt?
Darkstalkers.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
For T, I guess this is the I wouldn't hate it if somebody gifted it to me.
Right.
All right. Next up, a figure I think all three of us might be pretty excited for, especially after seeing BBTS's pre-order price on it. Sentinel is coming out with a Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales, and
He looked good.
he looks very good. He comes with a lot of options.
He almost comes with a whole other figure.
Yes. So it's standard Sentinel form. You get a stand, a backdrop. You get web effects, and as Matt was saying, like you get the jacket. You get I mean you have optional feet.
Yeah, his pants switch out to his shorts. See.
I pre-ordered him, but the difference between him and the Mayfex isn't that much to me. And
Well,
I
the
do like
soft goods.
the fact that the Mayfex has soft goods and the jacket isn't permanently in one pose. I'm thinking that's going to win, so I'm going to get him, do a comparison review, and I'll probably sell it or sell one of them.
I would probably guess you like if I had to guess, I think you're probably going to be happy with the Sentinel. Owning the Sentinel Mega Man figures, I can tell you they're really, really good quality.
Did you see that mallet?
Yeah.
Spider Ham.
Yeah. I would love them to do a little Spider Ham. It's like every time we get a Spider Ham, it's a static figure.
Yeah. So my only issue, and this is just a really, if I had to gripe about anything, it's that I wish that there was another unmasked Miles Morales face. I wish we had a couple more expressions for his regular face. But that's just a very minor complaint. I mean, the amount of accessories you get with this for the GameStop price of $80 is awesome. This is a great value. Don't go to BBTS where it's $130, please. And they do on this one what I like with smaller accessories, where he's got a cell phone and he's got the spray can, but they don't give it to you as separate props. The hand is built onto it, which is the way to do it. Why would you, like the spray bottle, why would you give it a spray bottle and then a spray bottle hand and then want you to put those together? Why not just mold it together like this? Like SHF always does that shit where they have it where you have to put that shit together yourself and end up losing something. Or here, it makes sense. Switch the hand out for the thing that you want him to hold and you're good to go.
Figma makes you put stickers on it.
That's true. The can for Diva had labels you had to adhere. And spoilers, I never did. It's still in her box.
The big can for the Figma Inklings.
You bring up a pretty good point there, Matt. It's like I never really thought about that. It's like thinking about it, I kind of do prefer like pre-fob accessory hands because it's like if you have like a Zelda figure, or I'm sorry, a Link figure. Like with Figma, you have to take the sword apart to get it into his hand.
Right.
And I kind of would have just have rather had a hand where the sword's molded into it.
Yeah.
Give me a second sword that I can store on his back. But yeah, I think it's just like you get like a perfect display option there.
And I kind of get what you're saying, T, about the soft goods and this one here being in a particular pose all the time. I think it's a trade-off though, because that jacket's going to look good in that pose, and then you work around that pose. Where the soft goods you're gonna be able to get it to look good in most any pose, but you got to fight for it to get it right, laying right the way you want it. So it's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other, depending on what your own tastes are.
I think you kind of win if you get both of them, because you could ultimately get the best version of multiple suits.
Well, shit, you could even put the jacket on this one. You could put the Apex jacket on this one if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you wanted to, but at the end of the day, I think you get a better posable Spider-Man here. Like I think this shot here, honestly, looks better than the Mayfex does.
You can leave one at work, one at home. If going to work still exists when this comes out. Or you can just leave them in the box like Kevin's going to do with both of his.
Yeah, he'll have them both, but they'll be stacked on top each underneath all of his Legends figures. And No Effort brings up a good point too. Like the Hush Batman had the grapple gun molded in his hand, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like there is no reason for that grapple gun to be separate. It's not most 99% of people are not going to have like a bat accessory table that they're going to have all the accessories laid out on. And so no, that's just going to go right back in the box when he's not firing a grappling hook. So that's a good example.
Hasbro's done that a couple of times. Like, what is his name? Somebody Junk Rat from
Overwatch.
Yeah. Overwatch. He had the detonator already in the hand.
Yep. Just makes it easier and looks better, in my opinion.
All right. So we've got speaking of Hasbro,
new Black Series.
Yeah, we got a lot of new Black Series. So first up, Mando Monday is going to continue, which means that they are not done showing us what they have to offer. We're not going to go through the vintage collection stuff. We're going to hop right into the Black Series, starting off with an Asajj Ventress. I think this looks phenomenal.
I've seen some complaints that this is, and I don't know why. So this one is leaning more towards the more lifelike aesthetic, which they've been doing with all of their animated figures.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people bitch that she doesn't have the animated style to her, like the whited out eyes sometimes, with her outfit. I'm fine. Like this will look good with your other Black Series figures. So
right,
an animated one would look out of place. Like look at that. What's a Cyborg that came out in DC line that just doesn't look right with most of your other figures because it's animated.
So I will say with the McFarlane stuff, like they are drawing the lines hard, like because you have Batman the Animated Series, Batman,
sure,
and you have Arkham Asylum with the super pointy ears and crossed eyes. So I'll get the Arkham Origins or I'll get the Arkham City Batman. That one looks good. I have no problem with them kind of having a unified aesthetic in Black Series, because it's like if you really wanted if you really wanted that art style, I mean, I would hope that they would do more in the toy box line, or God, what is that one line that they did? It's still on shelves, but it fits into the
yeah, I know what you're talking about. There, yeah, that comes into smaller size boxes.
Yeah,
yep. I don't remember what the line's called, but they're still there.
Galaxy of Adventure.
Galaxy of Adventure, yeah, and those have all the necessary articulation too. Like those were a hell of a value.
These figures are good for me because I don't have a connection with the show. So
yeah,
if I want to impulse buy something, I'm like, I can get this, and she matches with everything else.
Yep.
Like I did with Sabine Wren and Ahsoka.
Stern Games Guy says, I need that Sasha Banks Mandalorian. I think we all do. We're going to get into the Mandalorian stuff in a little bit here. But T, to your point there, I think that's kind of part of it, is like if you don't have a connection to the character and the character doesn't fit in aesthetically with your collection, you're probably going to pass. And I think they just kind of want everything to look like it fits in one single collection, with hence the Black Series.
The most cartoony one they have is that big deluxe one. He's like blue. I don't know his name. He's from Rebels.
From Rebels. Yeah.
He looks really
and even Zeb, they still struck a balance where he's not quite as accurate to the cartoon or the animation as he could be. They still sort of smoothed it and streamlined it so it's a little more realistic. Yeah. But you're right, that's the one that looks the most. I've liked Asajj Ventress. You guys remember when she was really first introduced? The first time I saw her was in the old Clone Wars series when she was introduced with Dooku. That's my remembrance.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
I
original
remember
Clone
The
Wars series.
Kennedy Tartakovsky.
Yes.
Kennedy Tartakovsky one, yeah.
That's why I didn't say the name. The original series.
I remember watching that. It was a lot of X.
So these guys here, you've got the Bad Batch. I am familiar with them. I haven't seen these episodes yet. But I know the deal. So the deal is that it's a clone battalion of rejects that all happen to have almost like a mutation that gives them some kind of special ability.
Yeah,
so these are each slightly mutated, slightly like defects that give them enhanced hearing, enhanced strength, yada yada.
So they'd have like a package picture here just to show everything it comes with. But
the package picture came later. It didn't come with the
Yeah.
initial reveals.
yeah,
Are they mutated or they just use the Force differently?
No, it's some kind of genetic change in them. It's not the Force that I've ever heard of. And I think there's 4 total where we know the other 2 are, one is going to be a deluxe release and one is, I don't know about the 4th one, but these are the 2 they're starting with. Excuse me. I don't know enough about them to really speak intelligently because I need to watch those, get to those episodes, but they look good. I got them on pre-order. I figure when I get to those, I'll care about them. So I'm going to want them.
we get to our next set of pictures because I entered in the link incorrectly.
I can't see the comments.
I can see. The last comment is Soren Games Go said Asajj Ventress gave Anakin a scar on his eye. Was that still canon? Because the original Clone Wars
Isn't canon anymore.
Yeah. I was gonna say in the Gennady Tartakovsky cartoon that was what it was.
The old GT.
But the GT. What's crazy about that series is how it ends in the opening shot of episode 3, and they made such a big deal about that back in 2005.
And it's an excellent. I mean, it's sad that it's not canon anymore because I know the new show is really good too. But there was nothing wrong with that old show. That was a really good show.
Well, maybe this is discussion for another day.
Yeah.
But when the Clone Wars cartoon first came out in 2008, I did not like it. It took a while for it to gain momentum, and like that first season was pretty rough.
Thank you, Winston, correcting me. Like I said, I don't know them that well, so there you go.
So these I am super excited for. I'm going in completionist on the Mandalorian Black Series. So Bando Mondays, we got Moff Gideon, Quill, and Grief Karga.
Anybody that watches this show knows that I have been waiting for a Moff Gideon. So I have 2 of them on pre-order as a safety.
Grief looks awesome.
Oh, I like both of those poses. And they're just simple.
Yeah.
That makes me want them now.
I wonder how many people are going to retool this into like Apollo Creed.
Yes, that was my first thought. So I'm willing to bet a lot of people are going to do that.
Carl Weathers has aged pretty gracefully. So then we get Quill. He looks awesome.
That made me think about that. Somebody putting a Samuel L. Jackson head in a Black Ranger box.
It's like with Quill here, it's like, because he's a smaller figure, he's probably eating up the cost for something else in this wave.
Well, and so the only thing I'm going to say about the Quill figure is that the way they've been going, the way Hasbro's been going, you need to watch it because you're going to get the standalone release, and I can almost guarantee at some point we're going to get him paired with I can't remember what the hell the beast is called that they ride in episode 2.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you're going to see them release him again in a 2-pack with the mount. So just You heard it here first. I'm reading the future, the tea leaves. And Moff Gideon, man, this dude is just ready for my Imperial shelf. Him and Tarkin are just going to look pissy at the rest of my collection. They're just going to judge every figure in my collection.
I love how they did the Darksaber here. Like it's just, you know, transparent plastic, and they painted the dark stripe, you know, on there.
I love everything about that figure. I'm super happy for it. The cape is the cape. Like I figured there was going to be the same, that chunky piece.
I'm so used to him looking pissed off. When I looked up his name and he had actual pictures smiling, I wasn't used to that.
Like, well, that's the thing. He's like Giancarlo Esposito. He's supposed to be like a super nice guy, and it's just so crazy. Like, you know, if you watch Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, you know, he just
plays bad. Even back on School Days.
Yeah. And like it's crazy, like watching Better Call Saul, because like you already know, like, so like when he first shows up in Breaking Bad, you know, he seems very kindly, and then when you find out that like Los Pollos Hermanos is or Pollos Hermanos is like, you know, the front for the biggest drug business in Albuquerque, you're like, oh shit. But like in Better Call Saul, like you already know what he is if you've seen Breaking Bad, and they don't pull any punches with him.
And he's a bad guy on The Boys as well.
I still need to watch that.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Yeah. True story.
But I'm in for all three of those.
I will say that the assortment is, it's 2 Moff Gideons, 2 Quills, 2 2 Carl Weatherses, and it's going to be
Dark Ray.
It's going to be 2 armorers and 1 Dark Ray, like he said. So just keep that in mind.
I thought something I saw shows that 1 armor and 1 Dark Ray.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. 1 armor and 1 Dark Ray. But the armor is a re-release, obviously. So It's going to be Dark Ray. That's going to be the hard thing to get. Is she going to be the most sought after? We'll see.
Right.
I pre-ordered it, so I'm not going to worry.
Yep. She showed up for all of 13 seconds in the movie, and
right.
It's like it's going to be an interesting one, because I don't think Ray figures really ever sold well.
Yeah, you can still find Island Journey Ray.
Yeah, because like the first Ray, I think she sold all right because she came with BB-8, and then they did a reissue with her that actually came with a lightsaber, because the first one didn't. And then you got Last Jedi Ray, and then the Force Awakens Ray that comes with Dio. That just did not sell at all.
It's like the face sculpt, the face print on that one is good, but it's not. It's better than the previous releases, but her for whatever reason, her face is like Hamill. It's hard to get. Yeah. Even I have the SHF of the Last Jedi. Even that, like, it's close. You could tell it's Daisy Ridley, but it's not. It's not like the rest of them.
You know, Ray, you even spelled it right.
I was going to say she's a nobody. Sorgaze says, basically is the reason General Grievous has a bad call. He force crushed his chest. That was an awesome moment in in that cartoon. It was like, oh, and then the whole time watching Revenge of the Sith, like, you knew why Grievous was like incapacitated.
That was where they revealed General Grievous for the first time.
Yeah.
That was the first time we ever saw him was in the animated.
So we got a Mafex tease. You know, you guys are talking about The Boys. We had a tease of Homelander. I need to watch the show. Please don't spoil it for me. I know I'm 2 seasons behind. Even my girlfriend has seen the show and lectures me on how I should see it, but I choose to play video games over watching TV.
So you've seen none of it?
I've seen 0.
Okay, I'm going to tell you that if you haven't seen it yet by the time this pre-order comes out, I would suggest you get a pre-order, and then you can always cancel it later. But I'm willing to bet after you watch the show, you are going to want it. So I'll just put it out there.
Watch the first episode, and you'll be hooked.
It's what everybody said, and it's just like one of those things where it's like, I have no excuse. I have literally no excuse for not seeing it.
Homelander is I won't give any details or any spoilers. I'll just say Homelander is an awesome, awesome character. that I'm glad they start with. It makes sense they started with him, but I am just looking at the soft goods on the cape on this, and it like that is enough to sell me that I'm stoked for it. So
I even watch it and I don't watch TV at all.
I know you don't watch TV.
Push play. Like I'm looking at Hobbs and Shaw right now, and I'm like, will I push play?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I got to put that on my list.
Yeah, it's just it's like I've made time for The Mandalorian. I've made time for Better Call Saul, but it's just like unfortunately, it's like video games or Food Network. Yeah.
So you would be down for a Mafex Guy Fieri, is what you're saying. So Guy's Grocery Games edition, though, not the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Right?
I'd be down for either version.
Okay.
And that's the thing is like I know. So it was funny. Like I had a happy hour with some friends. We did like a socially distanced happy hour last weekend, and my friend James, we sat there and talked about Food Network. And we talked about like Pioneer Woman, and we talked about like Beat Bobby Flay, and what were our favorite who are our favorite judges on Chopped. And I was like, "Fuck, I'm old."
No, I mean I can answer all those questions, but I'm not. I'm just
I didn't realize you were a Food Network fan, Matt.
I am. It's not the level of dedication that you have per se, but I'm. Definitely enjoy some Food Network, especially Carnival Eats, man. I love Carnival Eats.
No, that is Cooking Channel.
Yeah, fuck you. They're the same thing.
Yeah,
it's Food Network Part 2.
It is Food Network Part 2, but we unfortunately on our cable package we don't get Cooking Channel, and that pisses me off because I love Carnival Eats and Man-Fire Food. Like there was a time of the year, like when the pandemic first kicked off, they're like, hey, we're going to give you all these channels just as like a courtesy. And yeah. Night Window says, Zero, when did you become a girl? Ed, if you learn how to cook, they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but if you know how to cook,
you could get to a woman's vagina.
Yeah, and then some.
You could get to the vagina with the good food.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, I could sit and watch me some Giada De Laurentiis or some Molly. Those are good cooking shows.
When she's like in the Mediterranean.
I just,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, there's no way that chick eats even a quarter of the stuff she cooks. There's no way.
She's like, I'm just gonna eat the garnish.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of assets, unfortunately we don't have Joe with us tonight, but I know Joe would want to weigh in on this. Wonder Woman 1984, a movie a lot of us have been excited about. It's coming this year. We're still going to get it after a lot of delays. It's coming this Christmas, but it's also coming to HBO Max. Unlike what Disney Plus did with Mulan, this is coming to HBO Max at no additional cost. So day and date, you're going to get it on HBO Max, but it's also going to be in theaters. We were talking in our chat earlier, and like I think T and I are kind of on the same page. We miss going to the movies.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I kind of want to weigh in on this. I'm fortunate enough to have a theater near me that's open. I haven't gone back yet. I want to go back. It's just timing of everything, and the theater's been kind of weird. Like they don't post their times until 2 days before, so we don't know when showings are, and it's kind of hard to plan. Like, how are you guys planning on seeing this?
I'm gonna watch it just straight on HBO.
So I
have it.
So you have HBO Max.
I mean, HBO Max is $14.99 a month, so at the most, you're going to be paying $14.99 to see this movie if you're just going to buy it for a month. But I'm willing to bet, like, between now and December, this comes out December 25th. This comes out Christmas Day, which I think any other year I'd say that's really shitty. But this year, I think it's a good date because there's going to be people that are going to be pissy and stuck home, not doing what they want to do. Perfect day to release a new movie, so you have something to do with your time. But I think, like I was saying, I think between now and December, though, I'm almost willing to bet if you look hard enough, you're going to find a free month HBO Max code somewhere.
You know, it's kind of crazy. It's like I know I could do that. I know that like the 1 month subscription is like less than the cost of 2 movie tickets.
Right.
But I want to see this in the movies.
Oh, me too. I'm with you, 100%.
You know, even if I had to sit there and wear a mask the whole time, I want to see this in the movies. I want to support, because it's like I don't want the movie theaters to die. I love the experience. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm willing to sit there wearing a mask the whole time. You know, I have, for anybody that doesn't know, like I have the best TV that's commercially available right now. And like I know T and Matt have been in my basement. I have a comfy couch, but for me, I can't beat the experience of going into a theater. I just, you know, I can't. It's like, for me, it's like it's built in. I don't want to say it's built into my DNA, but it kind of is. It's like, you know, it's like one of those things that it's just been such a huge part of my life that like I value the experience over viewing the film, if that makes any sense.
We're old.
I agree, and so my only thing that I would say is that like if there are certain movies I feel I need to see in theaters, and there's others that if I could get away with watching them at home for the first time, I would do that. This is one where I would agree with you that I would really want to see in theaters, but given the circumstances, I'm okay this year for this particular movie staying at home and watching it. But yeah, I agree with you though. If circumstances were different, I would definitely opt for a movie theater experience.
I don't even know if a theater is open near me.
Same thing with Black Widow too.
What was that, Matt?
Same thing with Black Widow.
Yeah.
In the chat, they mentioned Black Widow.
Yeah, Sergey guys said they need to release Black Widow from the vault. I think that the Mulan experience, or the Mulan experiment, was kind of a failure. I think they
financially. I think it was a success from what I read. That it ticked all the boxes that they were looking for.
Well, I don't know. I just don't think streaming is the future. And again, I for anybody that doesn't know, I have an LG C10 OLED. I have a 65-inch TV. It's like the 2020 model. It is literally according to ratings.com, it is the best TV you can get. I still want to go to a movie theater. And it's like, I don't know, like, is it because I'm old? Is it because I'm conditioned?
So the thing about that too is that for me, going to a movie theater is also a crowd experience as well.
Right.
So I don't think you're going to get that. Even if you go on the release with this, people aren't going to the movies, and if they do, it's so scaled back on the amount of people they let in that you're missing that. Because how cool was it? We've all, I think all of us here saw Avengers, saw Endgame in theaters, and the moment when Cap catches the hammer, and there's so many moments that when you're sitting there with people and other nerds that get it and they get so excited, and you're excited, and hey, we're now best friends because we're excited about this thing. That's missing at home, but I also think it's going to be missing for 2020 theater experiences.
Sportimus, I have Dolby Atmos at home, so yes. I have an experience at home that rivals it, but I think what Matt's saying is right. It's like you want to have that shared experience. You want to have that the people go, oh, and the oohs and ahs. It's like going to a baseball game. Like, I can watch baseball at home, but I like being at Camden Yards. I like watching a baseball game at Camden Yards. I didn't watch any, like, this was the first year where I couldn't watch baseball. I know, like, most people are like, baseball's boring. Most people, like, you talk about baseball, they're like sleep.
Now that you brought up baseball and sports and whatnot, maybe the movie theater won't die because people have been able to watch it at home forever, but they're still pressed to go get tickets to go see it in person.
That's true. That is true.
I have a hot air popper. I've got like a pantry full of like microwave popcorn, but like for me, it's just like I missed that experience, like going to the mall, getting a big thing of like popcorn with the shitty liquid butter, people watching, hearing people ooh and ah during the movie, and like I never thought I'd like even miss people talking during the movie and being shitty. Like I kind of even missed that.
You know what else is cool too is something that just occurred to me while you're talking is that when you're in a theater, a crowded theater, and you're watching one of these like nerd-centric movies, and they slip in an Easter egg or an in joke that not everybody. You just get like maybe a handful of people that get it and chuckle, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, now we're best friends. Like we're on the same wavelength. I'm glad you got it because I got it too. Baseball socks, Kevin. You have probably got lots of baseball socks. I know you collect for every team.
Sportimus, it would not fit in my Toyota Corolla. I actually ordered it off Amazon, and they delivered it in a U-Haul, which was kind of funny.
So anyway, to bring it back home, I will probably subscribe to HBO Max for a month to see this. Now, that also doesn't say, though, that you can't subscribe to HBO Max and then have some friends over. I mean, you can at least go that route and see it collectively.
That's the route I thought you were going. I thought you were like talking about like people getting it for Christmas and they have like mom, dad, their sister and brother over.
Sure, you can definitely do that.
Yeah. I think in like that regard, I think there's going to be people that do that because hey, you're going to get your experience sort of doing that. But I don't know. I don't think it's the same.
It's not, but it's the best some of us can do right now.
I think though that there's a lot of people that are kind of complacent in it. They're like, yeah, I'd rather just watch it at home. But it's kind of crazy that like I think the last huge movie I saw in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's funny. It came out this year, and it sounds like it was like 5 years ago. But that was a good experience, and I really liked the energy of the people that were there watching it. There were people in the audience that were lifelong fans of it, and it like you were talking about like all those little moments, the chuckles and people
that get
it. Yeah, there's just that you can't replicate that at home.
Mid-credit scene, I know that was exciting.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like kind of like the same thing of like going to a video arcade, and it's like you don't have those anymore. I mean, like Dave and Buster's is a place that still exists, but you don't have that.
It's not the same, right?
Drive-in theaters should make a big comeback. Why aren't they? And I think, well,
some are.
Yeah, Benji's definitely has been doing awesome. When they said Benji's could reopen,
the Horizon Cinemas in Aberdeen and Falston, I believe, both converted their. I don't know about Aberdeen. Falston converted their parking lots to drive-in theaters. So the movie theater itself just roped off an area, and you pay to get in and park, and they have a screen up. So they're finding a way. I'm hoping they evolve enough to keep it going.
Benji's was always awesome. Like I used to enjoy going there because it was like for the price of one movie, you got 3. And going to a drive-in is just an experience of its own. It's like, they touted themselves as like the biggest screen in Maryland, and Aquateki says there aren't many drive-ins left, and that's 100% accurate. I think that they're probably going to see a resurgence, especially since we're not out of the clear yet. We're going into 2021. If I were looking to start a business, I would probably start a drive-in theater, to be honest.
Have you been to Benji's, Matt, since all this craziness?
Mm-hmm. So, T, you're going to be subscribing to HBO Max when this comes out? Or you already are, so you'll be watching it.
Yeah, my son finally is old enough to pay me back for all the years of Netflix.
Is that how you're watching Harley Quinn?
Yeah, I'm on his account.
Okay. So Jordan's going to try to make it to a movie theater, right?
Yeah, I still, Lex and we've been trying to see Tenet, and it just hasn't panned out. Because, like, I guess that's kind of like the whole rant I went on about movies, saying that they're, not having their schedules up, other than 2 days in advance. And I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. I've seen every one of his movies in theaters, and I need to see Tenet. I want to see Tenet, and I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So we've been trying.
So I think of all of us, though, the most excited person to see Wonder Woman 1984 to come out is going to be Target, so they can finally get rid of those fucking movie figures that have been clogging up part of their shelves, and Walmart that have been those Wonder Woman figures. Hopefully, people will care and go buy them.
What about this guy?
Yeah, he's gonna like it too. He's gonna be disappointed when he's watching the movie and not his face superimposed anymore on all the characters. So he might be disappointed.
I think he'll just be glad to get it out of his system.
True.
Oh wow, that thing really transformed.
T, what's your 10-second review on her? You're up to 5 seconds.
Good, but suffers from what most of the Mets figures suffer from, where the suit is hard to maneuver around. And I better plug my phone up because it just dropped to 5% while I was saying that.
Jesus. You're living on the edge.
I think it's time to wrap anyway.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. Any last comments in the chat? Sportimus says, same here. Sonic was the last movie I saw in the theater too. Loved it. Feels like it was forever ago. And yes, it definitely does. The last movie I saw in the theaters was Impractical Jokers, the movie.
I don't even remember what the last movie I saw.
I don't remember.
I don't
The
remember.
last movie I saw was The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah, it might be that, or it might have been, when did Joe and I go see My Hero, Two Heroes? But that might have been it, too. I can't remember. It might have been Rise of Skywalker. You might be right.
North Random says, the last movie I saw was Bill and Ted Face the Music. If you saw it in the theaters, I'm jealous. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for tonight's episode. If you want to know where we're at, you can find us in the show notes, the description. You can check out the FAP shop. If you haven't already, kielbasa slam that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure to ring that notification bell. Again, we are not going to do a Thursday episode, but we might do something else during the Thanksgiving week. So stay tuned. Ring that notification bell so you can see if we do. I might go on. I might do something.
We'll see. We'll see. It's not like any of us are probably going to have that big of plans. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. But I hope everybody has a safe and happy Turkey Day. Hope they get some good time with their family. Again, be safe, and I say be safe, but I do hope you all get some time with the family. Isolation is what it is, but you gotta live. What was that, T?
I said make sure you talk to somebody.
Exactly. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them. Make sure you're there for them, even if you can't be there in person. And I think that's
take the wisdom of the bee from Cheerios and be happy, be healthy. That's the takeaway here.
I like those commercials with Stanley from The Office, where he's just basically like, "Fuck off and let me eat my Cheerios."
There you go. See, that's your takeaway. Fuck off and eat your Cheerios.
Well, that's going to do it for tonight. So fuck off and eat your Cheerios. We'll see you again. Maybe in 2 weeks, maybe sooner. Ring that notification bell. But again, happy Thanksgiving. We love you all. And thanks to everybody who participated in the chat tonight. Have a good one. Have an awesome weekend. And stay safe.